Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another life makeover video. In today's video I'm going to be doing an in-depth guide on the photo camera in life makeover. I have done a really long tutorial for beginners, so if you are new to my channel and new to life makeover, check that one out first. This is kind of a continuation of more like a little bit more in-depth about the camera itself and how to make your pictures even more fabulous than they probably already are. I will have the beginner's guide linked in the corner if you want to check that one out first. Without further ado, let's get into the camera mode. When it comes to taking good pictures, there are a few things that are important, which is the composition and the pose of the character, the position of the camera, and background and ambiance. So we're going to be going over all of these three today. I think we will start off with the positions of the character. One thing that I can just generally say, if you want to get more inspiration for your character and for posing or outfits, I highly recommend just looking at photography in real life, because they use the same techniques that you can apply into life makeover, because it's basically just photography. So don't be shy, look on Pinterest, make a Pinterest board. It's a lot of fun to do, to make your experience in life makeover a little bit more fun, to make a custom outfit and then recreating maybe styles that you see online. So starting off with the poses, we have half length, full body, and dynamic. There are a few tips and tricks here that I want to recommend here. Starting off, you can use any of the close-up bodies also to zoom out and get the full body for this. One way to do this is by going to Retouch, and then you see here white cam. It will give you a little disclaimer, yes, and then you can zoom out even further. So as you can see, we can see the whole body character now. So that is one thing. If you didn't know that, you can use any of the half length as a full body. Another thing I recommend doing, as you can see here, I have just favorited a bunch of these because these are like my favorite ones to use. Just go around and see which one you like the most, because at some point you're gonna have quite a lot and you're gonna be looking through the same ones over and over again. So I recommend favoriting the ones that you like. Next up, I want to say, do not sleep on the dynamic poses. Currently on PC, you are unable to record videos. As you can see next to the picture button, there is a video and it is not available on PC. I don't know why they haven't ended yet, because I really want it. However, you can still use the video pose for taking amazing creative pictures, and I think this is one of the features that I wish I used so much sooner in this game. For the dynamic poses, there are kind of two different ones. As you can see here, we have the regular ones, and next to it there is one with a little icon on the side. This means that there is a locked position for the camera. So for example, this is a regular one, so she will be stationary and you can still see the whole pose, and you can pause here. You probably noticed by now as well, but you can move around the pose, and then you can also move her expression another way. If you want to choose another expression, you will have to press expression here on the side, and then you can select any other expression from any other pose that you have. It doesn't have to be specifically from the animated pose. And then if we look to the other one, this is an animation that has a camera view with it, and some of these are really cool. For example, this is the Tidal Echo one, which is my my ultimate favorite one from the mermaid set. It clips kind of with this set, but you can also post this one wherever you would like. But the problem is you can't move it, but we have a solution for that. If you see on top of the undo button, it will say free camera. If you press this, boom, you can move around. Look, we're here. If we go into studio mode, we even have more ways to move around, and this is really fun since you get to move the character more your way. And if you press focus, she will look at you, and there's so much creativity to do with the dynamic poses. I think most of the poses that come with a locked camera are often in background packs or in 6-star sets. I don't know if they often have any other ones that they give out for free, but this is something I recommend checking out, especially if you're considering buying some of the background packs that come with a pose. Could be extra use for you if you don't really use the video animation. Another thing I wish I do sooner is sometimes when you see here, I would like to use the eye contact pose. However, it has a little block that I can't use it. Wrong, you can't use it. Next to focus, there is more poses. Again, you're kind of accepting that there's glitches, it's whatever, and you can use any pose that you would like, which is really nice. I personally don't really notice any clipping when it comes to these, so it's quite nice that you can just use any of them. Another item that they have recently added is the height. On the side here underneath speed, you will see the slider up and down, which means you can move your character up and down into the scene. This is nice if you have backgrounds where there are chairs, for example, here in the back. It is really nice to overall just position your character more up and down. Sometimes if you have, for example, a water background, like Promise of the Sea, you can move her inside of the water, which makes the whole thing even cooler, because you can actually make her look like a mermaid. Even if you don't have the tail and you have this background, you can just pretend, boom, another idea right there. Another thing that is really fun about the posing is that you can do group photos. You can ask friends to do a group photo. However, they're not always online. They need to accept it within, I think, 3 or 4 hours. And of course, it also expires. But you can also just do selfies with yourself. So what I would like to do is going up here next to the back button, it will say group. And if you press group, you can either invite people that are currently online in your group, or you can say select image. So this is from your own personal collection. You can choose any of your default faces. I'm just going to choose the one that I'm currently using, and it will pick the outfit you have set as your home screen outfit. So currently this is my home screen outfit, so she will show up here as well. And you can do the same thing that we just showed with any of the poses and move them around, and they can individually be posed. So if you sometimes want to make 2 different outfits and style them together, you don't have any friends, well, they're not online, you can put the selfies with yourself, and it is a lot of fun, especially if you have sometimes the same outfit you want to show off the front and the back in the same picture. It's a great way of styling. Another option is taking pictures with your pet. However, there aren't that many emotes for that available right now, but if you take pictures with your pet, you can select them. However, mine have been permanently moved to the vet, so I can't show you that right now. But again, that's something that you often forget because it's just another button on the side. So if you have any pets and you really like them, don't forget to take pictures with them as well. And then lastly, when it comes down to the character, but I also think I want to go a little bit more into the environment, is the wind category. It is also next to the back button. The wind makes such a big difference. I always forget to use it, but it's a massive change. So for example, this is our character right now. I put the wind on super strong and I move to the side. Especially if you have loose hair, it will just make the whole thing look so much better. You can choose any angle for the wind, but it actually elevates your character's outfit so much. I think it's time we move on to the environment and the actual styling of the ambiance. One thing to know about this, when you take your picture, there are actually 2 types of modes that you can use. So there is HD and there is basic mode. It makes a huge difference in the quality that you eventually get. So depending on what you like to use your pictures for, kind of pick and choose. The only things with the Ultra HD mode, while the picture is really, really beautiful, it will take off all the effects and the brushes and the frames and stickers and everything that you put on. So normally I take my picture in basic mode also just because of the storage that it does on my computer, but HD is crispy. Don't forget that you can switch this around. So sometimes when you don't see your items, maybe it could be because of your mode. Now, speaking of scenes, this is a huge impact on your character's appearance and overall vibe for your image. A lot of ways to get the backgrounds, and most of the time buying them or getting them from the 6-star decom. This is where I get most of my wallpapers. I have bought a fair few, but I have at this point quite the collection, and sometimes they are generous and give out free ones. They have been in the past few months a lot. So for example, all of these plain colors here, like the white one, the emerald, the delusional brown, if you will, we got for free. So if you play long enough, you will accumulate a little bit more of these backgrounds, also sometimes for free. Each background has their own lighting, and you cannot change the lighting to another image. So for example, in this one, I really like the way how the sun rays come down and like the sparkles on my character's outfit. However, if I switch to the Wisteria Talk, this vibe is completely different. So unfortunately, there's no way to transfer these vibes, but I guess that's how they keep you buying. In the retouch, there are a lot of different settings I recommend checking out. I think sharpen is one of my favorites because it just makes everything look so much clearer. I don't even know if my screen recording can pick up how much crispier the image is, but the difference that the soft look versus the sharp look, it's very preference, but I prefer this one, I think. So let me just quickly tweak this image a little bit to make it a little bit more into the vibes that we're going for here. Boom, huge difference, I think personally. It's a little bit. If you change it, don't forget to tweak it. Then there's cute effects. I personally never really use these, but it is pretty cute. Again, make sure you have it on basic mode if you want this to show up into your picture. One that I do use quite often is the effect one. This one has light effects. You get these a lot with events for free. That's why I also have quite a lot here. These are pretty easy to obtain, and they again add a huge effect. Look at this with the blossoms, make it look so much better. Same as for filters. Make sure you kind of go through these, take your time, and then just favorite the ones that you really like. Some of my favorites here is Long Holiday. I feel like this makes the colors kind of look nice and faded. Daybreak is one that makes it a little bit more vibrant, and then White Tower is also another of my favorites. Fatality, Clear is one I love to use. Ice Run and Cool Summer. So maybe if you have any of these, I would recommend checking them out. But again, there's so many, and you kind of have to match the vibe that you are currently going for. So let's go with this one. Then there's also Brush. I personally never really use this category because I feel like this whole cartoony style doesn't really fit the vibe that Life Makeover has. So I think these are kind of like interesting and weird sometimes. Same as with with the frames, I personally don't really use them. I feel like if you're on mobile, I would recommend using this or checking them out a little bit more often. But if you are playing on PC like me, they only show up in like the side corners, so it's not really worth it. And sometimes they can kind of like, they don't really add anything to the picture personally for me, but it does really add to the ambiance if you're on your phone because it will show up a little bit more. Same is for stickers. This is something you can play around with. Sometimes these stickers will cost gems. I don't recommend spending your gems on there. Of course, do what you want, but personally, I don't think that it's worth your gems because sometimes you have to get them with gems. And another category that's very important, I think, is frames. You have full frame, the square, the 3x2, the 4x3, and the 16x19. One thing to note is if you take a picture with a cropped resolution, while I love taking square pictures, it really lowers the quality of the image, unfortunately. So normally I just keep it on full frame. One thing that's good to know though, if you are adding a frame, a custom one, as you can see, I just added an animated one, it will stay within the box of the one that you selected. So if I take a picture now, it will be with the border here and with all the filters here, but the quality will be lower. Recently, they added this thing called templates. This is really nice because you spend so much time putting this whole thing together, sliding all the styles, the contrast, saturation, the DOV, the pose, the wind, everything. You don't want to keep redoing that every time you want to change an outfit. So now you can save a template for however you like. This will save everything though. So this will save the pose, the hair, also the background and everything. So for example, if I switch to this one that I have saved, it will switch to angle that I put it on, and also the pose. If you change the pose now, it will switch, but you can still put it manually back to however degrees you had, if that makes any sense. But the rest of the filters will stay the same. And I think this is definitely something you should utilize and kind of make templates. It'll make it a lot easier if you have different styles that you like to take pictures for, I think. Now we have talked about ambiance, I'm going to be talking about the most important thing, I think, is the composition of the way that you take your pictures. The free camera is so important for this because while she's cute like this and showing off the outfit, we're here to be stylish, okay? So one of my favorite techniques for this is going into the wide cam once again and kind of zooming out. Every background has their own little world, if you will. Some are better than others. For example, this one recently was made. There's a forced perspective here. So if we zoom out, there's nothing really besides the building, so we can't really go anywhere. And by going anywhere, let me show you a better example. This is the fairyland background. This one was recently in the store. This is one of the best ones, I will say, just because they added so many details. So if we have the original camera, beautiful, really cute and everything, but if we move our girl to the back, which she can go quite far, almost all the way to the waterfall in the back, and we also move our camera to the side here, you can basically find new wallpapers within the wallpaper that kind of has the same vibe, but they do look different. Of course, the lighting is going to be at the same angle, so the contrast for this one is quite harsh, but that makes some wallpapers way more worth it than others. So if you are sometimes looking for a new wallpaper, but you don't buy them too often, ask around and see if the background is versatile enough that you can get more than one angle, because they always cost the same, but they're not all created equally, if I do say so myself. Then another one of my favorite options to take pictures is by turning the camera like sideways, because especially on PC, the whole monitor is like a lot of empty space and you kind of want to fill that up. So if we make her pose, we zoom in. That's a good picture right there. Also make sure to check if focus or unfocus will be better for the picture, because it really changed also the vibe of the image here. Another camera pose I highly recommend checking out is just from the top down. So let me go back into the light, go up all the way, and then looking down on the character, having the character with focus on makes a difference. Sometimes the pose does really make a difference on how your character looks up. So you can kind of move around, tweak around with how you would like. Also, you can manually move the eyeballs, but I think using the focus button would be best. And again, I feel like if we kind of rotate the image here, we have the filter with the blossoms in the back. And again, this just elevates the picture in my opinion. Taking pictures from floor height is another way to try taking pictures. However, I would recommend unchecking focus because it is so creepy. It is so creepy, but this again looks so angelic. Feel free to play around with angles, with sizing. One thing that really makes the picture look better is again with the wind, and if you kind of crop parts of the outfit off, like her legs are not visible in this one. So if you compare those pictures to just the default that we have here, you can see how much much of a difference this makes. Now, last but not least, I figured to show you the ultimate template you kind of want to save for your account, because this is the way I will show you, okay? Use shout out and credit to Dakota from my Discord server. She showed us all how to do this technique, which makes your photos look so real, so crispy, so good. So thank you, Dakota, for enlightening us all. If you haven't already, join my Discord server, because there's a bunch of other people that play Life Makeover and we share a bunch of opinions, photo tips, tricks, outfits. It's a lot of fun. What you want to do for this technique is starting off with turning on the wind in whatever direction you like. I like it pretty strong once again, so you can really see the movement inside of the hair. Next up, you want to use the white island background. This one we did get for free, but I don't think everyone can obtain. However, if you do not have this background, you can cheese your way to another white background by using the white and blues one. The lighting is a little bit different, but it will do the trick. Move over your character, move over the camera, and you will still have a white background. So that's another way if you do not have this one. Moving on to retouch, you will want to put the sharpen on 100%. You want to move up the contrast a little bit to like 1.2, 1.3 is. Saturation also a little bit, but kind of depending on your outfit. So I'm going to put it on 1.2. Then for the halo, you want to put it all the way down as well. And then you want to use a little bit of vignetting if you want to. On one side, if you slide it, it will be darker. On the other one, it'll be whiter. But I'm going to put it on a little bit darker here. Putting it on Ultra HD mode. And now look at how detailed it is. Like you can literally see every lash, every detail. Like it's so crispy. You have to see it for yourself in game. So once you are happy with your pose and everything, make sure to save it as a template, and now you have the best photo option always on the go, and it will look so crispy. I really hope that this guide was a little bit helpful. Maybe you got inspired a little bit to try more than just the default angle and the default pose. Make sure to play around with the dynamic poses and the camera angles, and if you have more than one background, make sure to see if there's any other ways to move around here. I think this game is so detailed, and it would be kind of a waste to not use any of the beautiful poses and backgrounds and details that you have in this game to your advantage to take some beautiful pictures. Thank you all so much for watching till the end. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!